really going to enjoy this next speaker. He has a remarkable story. His biological mother was raped, yet courageously chose to continue her pregnancy in order to give him life. He was adopted by a large Christian family filled with love, acceptance, and purpose. Today, he is an Emmy Award-winning creative professional, among other things. In fact, we're going to show you about a 1-minute video of one of his political entries to give you kind of a sample of his work. Let's watch it together. We thought you might like that subtle message that was given to you. And by the way, he is co-founder of a wonderful ministry called Radiance Foundation, which is reaching millions of people with his personal story of adoption. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Ryan Bomberger.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, good morning, beautiful conservative people. You know, we get demonized all the time, so it's good to have someone just throw a little bit of affirmation out there. So if you feel the love from me, just tell me yes. Okay. Woo, you are alive this morning. My goodness. Well, I just want to thank Family Research Council and FRC Action for actually allowing me to have this microphone for a few minutes. I have a few thoughts that I want to share with you, and it's just so good to be here and be able to freely share exactly what I think. So, yeah, I know that could be dangerous sometimes. My name is Ryan Bomberger. I am the Chief Creative Officer of the Radiance Foundation, a foundation that my wife and I founded. That it's a life-affirming nonprofit that tries, in everything that we do, to inspire people to understand and embrace their unique and irreplaceable intrinsic value. And that's not always easy, especially when you deal with certain topics. So we do this through creative ad campaigns. We do this through powerful live multimedia presentations and compassionate community outreach. And we do all these things in order to illuminate the pressing social issues like abortion, adoption, pop culture, impurity, pluralism. We even talk about civil rights, poverty, family stability, all those things in the context of God-given purpose. So, and I did say God-given purpose. My wife, Bethany, is the executive director of the Radiance Foundation. She is the woman in charge. Can I get a oh yeah from conservative women in here? Okay. We have no problem with a strong woman, particularly a strong Christian woman. Now, my wife Bethany is an educator by profession, and by profession I'm a creative director slash, you could say, agitator. And so we started this rather unconventional 501c3 because we happen to believe in the transformational power of hope. Now, don't confuse that with hope and change, because that's something entirely different. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. But as you can probably see, and if you didn't notice yet, I'm as black as Obama. Like, I didn't know that. Yes, the lights might be shining, but I am as black as Obama, which means I'm half white, half black. Doesn't make me an African American, it makes me simply an American. Yes, sir. Now, I just want to get the uncomfortability of talking about race out of the way, because I know that sometimes there are those who say we should just live in a colorblind society and just not see the color. No way. Let's see it, let's love it, let's embrace it. But it's important that we're not fooled by it. My pigmentation, which many of the tanning bed addicted out there would love to have, it's true, but it says nothing about who I am. Pigmentation does not denote moral conviction. So, when you look at our society and we see how we are just a race-fixated society, We're fixated on all the wrong things. And so that's why I just kind of want to get this out. So since the public likes polls, you know, I don't know what to think, so I'm going to take a poll. Or I don't feel like reporting the news, so I'll take a poll. So right now I'm just going to take a little unscientific poll, and just by a show of hands, which I can barely see, but by a show of hands, how many feel a little uncomfortable bringing up the issue of race in a conversation? Okay, 3 people in here feel a little uncomfortable about, let me ask another question. How many of you feel uncomfortable about lying? Okay. How many of you feel a little uncomfortable about bringing up the issue of abortion? What we do through the Radiance Foundation is illuminate truth. Let's be truthful here. Well, my wife and I are Northerners, by the way. She's from New York City, and I am from Pennsylvania Dutch country. Can I get an... Oh, I love me some ham loaf. I know. And for those of you who have never had ham loaf, you have not lived. But we're Northerners, and we decided to take the issue of race and abortion, combine them. In the South, in Georgia to be exact, in the Billboard campaign, and let's just say some sparks flew. So let me just show you a little bit here. These are the billboards that we put up in Atlanta. We put these billboards up, over 400 billboards, not just in Atlanta, but in major cities across the country. Caused a massive, you could imagine, media frenzy. This is one of my favorite, Fatherhood Begins in the Womb. We had New York Times, we had LA Times, CNN, we had ABC World News. I mean, it was just incredible. NPR, which now I know stands for National Pro-Choice Radio. Also, the far-right MSNBC, and wait, hold a second. They don't lean forward that way. It's more that way. Anyway, and you know, it was just incredible. And the entire blogosphere, there was such a reaction to it, and we didn't exactly expect that kind of reaction. Our awareness campaign actually caused Planned Parenthood to convene 2 national conferences to figure out how to combat our TooManyAborted.com billboard campaigns. Yeah. And this is what I love. A billion-dollar giant felt threatened by a husband and wife with 2 laptops and a little bit of moxie. Thank you. You know, thank you. It's amazing. We can all be Davids facing the Goliath. And we all know exactly what happened to Goliath. So 84% of abortions, let's talk about abortions in our nation, 1.21 million abortions. 84% of those abortions are among unmarried women. Unmarried women means a man is not involved often unless he's actually pressuring the woman to have an abortion. And when we look at that stat, we can't help but come to a painful conclusion. Abortion has taken the place of fathers. I just want to repeat that. Abortion has taken the place of fathers. Now, for those children who are born today, 41% of them are born into homes without fathers. U.S. children, 41% of U.S. children born into homes without fathers. That's 35.7% among white children and 72.3% among black children. We have a crisis of fatherlessness. And though liberals love to try to redefine marriage and family all the time, the truth of the matter is the number and gender of parents actually matter. Now, I have to say, yeah. I do need to say that women are amazing. They're resilient, they're resourceful, but they were never meant to play the role of both mother and father, okay? Now, children who grow up in a single female-led home are 5 times more likely to grow up in poverty than children who grow up in a 2-parent, male-female, led home. Married, I should emphasize that. Children who grow up in a single female-led home with a live-in boyfriend are 8 to 10 times more likely to suffer from neglect, from physical and sexual abuse. They need their fathers. And Planned Parenthood and other organizations like it love lobbying for every form of perpetual and generational welfare to keep certain populations vulnerable. You keep the father out of the home, you take protection away from the home. That's what they do. Now, Planned Parenthood, you think, what's in a name? Parenthood is part of their name. You look at their last annual report, and you would think that you would see the words father, mother, mom, dad, any kind of derivative of that in their annual report. How many times does it appear? 0. How many times does the word abortion appear? 35 times. Abortion is what they do. And their biggest cheerleaders are in the mainstream media. In our TooManyAborted.com Billboard campaigns, we were branded racist for, I know, crazy, for daring to say that black children are beautiful and too many are aborted, that black children are more endangered by death by abortion than any other racial demographic, up to 6 times more than the majority population. In fact, in New York City, 60% of all black pregnancies end in abortion. 60%. More black babies are aborted than are born alive in New York City. For every 1,000 that are born alive, 1,489 are aborted. This is the home, the epicenter of the abortion industry, of Planned Parenthood. And, you think Planned Parenthood specializes in a particular egregious act, the killing of the unborn, but that's not all they specialize in. They also specialize in harming women and men. And in fact, recently, they killed a woman by the name of Tanya Reeves in Chicago. They allowed, after a botched abortion, a woman to lie there for 5.5 hours, bleeding to death, never calling 911. And when the trauma unit finally came to get her, they didn't even tell them what was wrong. She died. Because choice was more important to them than human life, that of Tanya and her unborn child. Now, you could say I'm pro-life, just a little bit. Proud to say it. I don't care if the Department of Homeland Security has deemed me a terrorist, which is just bizarre considering that I don't know the last time that terrorists actually tried to save lives. So, yeah, kind of used to some of the political craziness, but being pro-life is definitely part of my DNA. I was adopted into a small family of 15. Typical American family. I have 6 brothers, 6 sisters. In fact, I think we have a little picture. Oh, there we are. That's right. Can you see that up on the screens? Yeah, I'm in the middle there. We're white, black, all kinds of different races. And the beautiful thing is, we kind of look like the United Nations there, except without the corruption. I just have to say that, my parents are perfect examples of pro-lifers who care about children after they're born. They adopted 10 children and loved the mess out of us all. Some of us have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, small business entrepreneurs, engaged in our communities, engaged in our churches, and all that because purpose was unleashed because of the beautiful, loving act of adoption. Now today, because of the courageous decision of my birth mom, because of the love and sacrifice of my parents, I, by the grace of God, have been able to become an Emmy Award-winning creative professional. I have my master's degree. More important than all that, I have an incredible wife. I have 4 amazing children who are all made possible because of the courageous decision of my birth mom. And so I just want to share with you exactly why I will forever be passionately pro-life every day of my life.
I know I was meant to be. This life was meant for me. Though you went through so much pain, all your tears, they were not in vain. Although you could not see, God meant for me to be.
Thank you. My time is way up. I want to thank Family Research Council, and I just want to thank just a miraculous God who allowed me to be on this earth, that my 4 amazing children who wouldn't be here if it weren't for the courageous choice of one woman. So I just want to encourage you, go to the radiancefoundation.org, find out what we do, help support our life-affirming work, and God bless every one of you. Thank you.